Hi everyone, Aaron here for Zollotech, and this is the new HomePod 2nd generation. These come in at $299 and are available in two different colors. I have both of them here, midnight and white. Now let's go ahead and unbox them, then we'll compare them with the 1st generation HomePod and the HomePod Mini as well. So if you order one online, this is how it comes packaged. If you get it in the store, it's just packaged like this. So let's open this up and see what we've got here. So it opens like this, and it looks like it's presented off to the side, or you could just pull it out from the top, of course, depending on how you have it oriented. And that's it. So nothing else in the box, just a little packaging for it. But sometimes it's really nice, so I thought we'd share that. And then here are the two different HomePods. So you'll see the boxes are different. We have different color Apple logos, and then of course, white and what Apple calls midnight, which is more of a black but a tinge of blue from what people are saying. I haven't seen it in person yet. Now let's go ahead and unbox these. So we'll flip them over and remove these little pull tabs here. No more plastic on these. We'll flip them back over and let's remove the tops. So let's pull the tops off both of these, and there we go. So you can see here is the HomePod. It really doesn't look too much different than before. Now let's remove one of these here. So this one does not have the little plug attached. This time around, you can easily remove it. We'll look at that in a moment. Let's take the top piece off here. And then we'll take the bottom piece off, the bottom cover. And let's set the HomePod aside and see what else we get in the box. So in here, we've got our power plug. It's a nice braided cord, and it matches the HomePod. And then also in here, it looks like we've got a little bit of paperwork. And let's see what we've got. So we've got a little quick start guide. And again, we do get Apple stickers with this one, it looks like, or I guess not. It's the same paper that would come with Apple stickers, but nothing's on it. That's a bit disappointing. And then just your warranty card. And then with the black one here, same thing. I would expect a matching power cord, but let's take this top wrapper off here and the bottom. And let's take a look at the power cord. Again, it does appear to be matching the overall texture and look of the HomePod itself. So it's nice that they're matching. And before we plug these in, let me compare them with the 1st gen as far as the way it looks. Now here is the 1st gen HomePod, and you'll see this is not easily removable. The HomePod cord does come out if you pull it very hard, but you can actually break it. So side by side, old to new, you can see here that the new one has a plus and minus button, and it should have a larger display. Also, the display is slightly recessed, so you can see that. And the overall color of the new HomePod looks to be slightly darker, just a little bit, but slightly darker. On the bottom, if we flip them over, you can see that the bottoms have changed a little bit. We have a recessed area on the older HomePod. On the new one, it's just flat. And of course, the Apple logo is sort of down into that texture as well. On the old one, it's printed on the texture, or seems to be part of that. So you can see that there. Everything else seems to be pretty much the same. However, there is a slight difference in weight. The overall weight, like I said, is a little bit different. The older one is slightly heavier at 5.5 pounds or 2.49 kilograms, where the newer one is 5.16 pounds or 2.3 kilograms. It's also slightly shorter at 6.6 inches compared to 6.8 inches. So I'm not sure if you can see that here, but it's really hard to see. It's basically the same as far as that goes. Also this time around, we have 5 tweeters instead of 7. We also have 4 microphones instead of 6, and the new S7 chip, or newer S7 chip, from the Apple Watch instead of the A8. Wi-Fi 4 instead of Wi-Fi 5. Some people were concerned about that, but for music streaming, it's not really an issue. We also now have sound recognition, temperature and humidity sensors, as well as matter and thread support. And then you can stereo pair these as well. So you could stereo pair the white and the black one, but they have to be the same generation so that they're identical speakers. If you try and stereo pair the new one with the old one, they're not the same speakers, and it wouldn't be easy for Apple to really adjust the stereo sound altogether. Now let's go ahead and get these set up. They also support Dolby Atmos with spatial audio. Let me turn them all on so we can see the display differences as well. So we'll start with the midnight one here. Now let's go ahead and plug in the new one Just bring it around here, plug it in. That way, and we'll wait for them both to boot up, and this should show you the display differences. So we'll give it just a moment to boot up, and you can watch here. The old one's already booting, and you can see the display size difference here, much larger on the new one, which of course is always nice. So now we're ready to set up the new one. So we'll move the old HomePod aside and we'll talk about sound in a little bit. So we'll bring in our iPhone and you'll see it immediately recognizes it, and we'll tap on setup. And then it wants us, similar to what we do with an iPhone, to put that flashing circle in the middle. It pairs and makes a noise and then connects to it. It says, which home are you setting this up in, your home or office or old house? This is actually my office, and we'll say office desk. And it says update required. So it wants me to update probably to HomePodOS 16.3. We'll tap update and we'll wait for it to set up. Now it did say HomePod update in progress. So this one's updating. Let's get the second one set up as well. So we'll go ahead and plug that one in. And it will only let you plug it in one way. So we'll just flip it around there, plug it in, and again, wait for it to boot up here. So let's move them to the middle here, and we'll give it a moment to boot up. So now we'll bring the iPhone close to it again. It should automatically find it. There we go. It recognizes it as the white HomePod. We'll tap setup. And again, we'll just put our camera over the center there. It immediately pairs. Makes a little sound. And again, it's asking me, where is this HomePod? It's in the office. We'll say office desk. And it says, for enhanced sound quality, use these speakers as a stereo pair. And we'll say not now, just so I can listen to one, and then we have to actually update it. So we'll tap Update HomePod, we'll give it a moment, and then it will let us continue using our phone while it updates in the background. So it connects to Wi-Fi and everything seamlessly. There's nothing you really have to do. So we'll give it just a moment here. Now it says HomePod update in progress, so we'll continue with it updating in the background. You can see that within the Home app. So if we go into Home, within Home, you'll see Office Desk, and it says Configuring and Configuring. These are our two new HomePods. Now also, I have a HomePod Mini here for size comparison. If you've never seen these in person, very big difference in overall size and sound because we have a lot more speakers and capability. Of course, it's 3 times the price also. So we'll let this update, and then we'll come back and take a listen to them, and I'll compare them and see what it's like. Now I have 3 royalty-free songs we'll take a listen to here on the old HomePod, and then we'll switch to the new HomePod and see what it sounds like. Now through this video, you're not really going to hear what it sounds like, but I do have a high-quality microphone, and I'll let you know of any differences I notice as well. We'll do 3 separate songs for 20 seconds each. Now through the microphone, you may or may not have been able to tell the difference. It's very hard to tell the difference between these, and in person, based on your overall environment, they adjust for that. So I listened to some different music between all of these. So we have the old HomePod in the middle, the new ones on the left and right of it, and I listened to just one at a time. They're not stereo paired, and I listened to some rap music, some rock music, and different music as well to see what it sounded like, and the only thing I can really tell the difference in is maybe a little bit more bass in the new ones, and maybe a little bit more full sound from the old one if you're up close, maybe due to the extra 2 tweeters. Other than that, it's very difficult to differentiate the sound between the old and the new. So really, they sound great overall. If you wanted an old HomePod, of course, you'll be happy with the new ones. You're not going to notice a difference. As far as physically, of course, you can see the recessed top here with the plus and minus signs. Plus and minus for volume show up on the old HomePod once it's turned on. And one other thing to note is that these are actually assembled in Vietnam. Now they're starting to pick up a lot of lint just from sitting on the table. They haven't made a ring for me, but here you may or may not be able to see it says assembled in Vietnam. So designed in California, assembled in Vietnam. So if you were curious, both of them are assembled in Vietnam now. Like many other Apple products, they're just moving them around to diversify the overall product supply. As far as stereo pairing, they're not great in a regular editing environment. So if you were thinking of getting these to maybe edit video on, there's a little bit of a lag there, whether it be the HomePod Mini or the new HomePods. They're just not great for that. It's too much lag when you hit the space bar to play your timeline. There's just a delay. It's very hard to actually edit with these. The build number and talk about what's new. So we'll go to settings, then we'll go to general. Software version if you tap. But they sound great. I wish they'd fix that. The other thing I would love to have is maybe stereo pairing with Dolby Atmos with either 2 of these in the front and 2 more in the back, or 2 regular HomePods in the front, maybe HomePod minis in the back for an overall surround sound style. That's something I would love to see Apple do, and maybe we'll get in the future. They have plenty of bass, so it would be great to have that option. There is Sony speakers that use 4 for that. However, they have speakers on the top as well to reflect sound off your ceiling. These do not. So in general, they sound great. I do think they're worth $300. It is a great speaker. It's Siri, so you have that. And then also in the app, if we go into that, let's go into our app here. You'll see here we have the HomePods. If we go into, let's go into this one here and scroll down. Of course, we can create a stereo pair. If we go all the way to the bottom, you'll see we are updated to 16.3, which means you can use accessibility with things such as sound recognition and more. And then, of course, you have your humidity sensors at the top where it tells the overall temperature and humidity. So you have temperature, and it's actually calibrating some of the new ones. The HomePod Mini is showing that it's 69 degrees in this room, and then the humidity is 41%. So they will actually sense that after they've calibrated. So it's nice to have those features, of course, and it's just a HomePod. Nothing really more to talk about. If you'd like to get your hands on this wallpaper, I'll link it in the description. And if you have anything else you'd like to know about the HomePods, let me know in the comments below. If you haven't subscribed already, though, please subscribe. And if you enjoyed the video, please give it a like. As always, thanks for watching. This is Aaron. I'll see you next time.